I'll turn now to a panel of legal experts. Mike Barnes, attorney and drug policy expert. Mark Geragos, who for a time represented Michael Jackson in his molestation trial. Sean Macias, who's close to the defence team. And Dimitri Gorin, who's known lead prosecutor David Woolgan since the early days in the DA's office. Let me start with you, Dimitri Gorin. You know David Woolgan. How did he do today, do you think, in laying out his case?
David did an excellent job in his opening statement. I think it was very clear. It was organized. I think the jury and the audience could easily follow along what happened here, what led to Michael Jackson's death. He's a very, very good attorney, and I'm not surprised he did such an excellent job in his opening statement today.
Sean Macias, what did you think? You're close to the defense. This is one of those cases, it's going to get quite technical, one senses. What was your feeling as the day unraveled?
You know, I had the same feeling as the counsel that just spoke earlier. I think that the prosecution came out, they had a wow factor, they had a lot of arts and crafts, but I think the defense counsel came out strong after lunch and definitely was discussing the factor that Michael Jackson ingested it and caused his own death. And I think it's going to be a very technical case, and hopefully that the jury won't be bored and, you know, not get wowed by these arts and crafts that the prosecution is going to put out.
Defense attorney Ed Chernoff has said that the judge's refusal to allow information about Jackson's previous drug use, in his words, gutted a good deal of his defense strategy. Did he make up ground today? Is that going to be a major problem for him?
I absolutely think that he made up ground today, and I think that he is going to take it, you know, as the evidence progresses, and I think that it's going to be, I think that the prosecution came out very strong today, but I think that's, it was a lot of bang and a lot of dust, but as it settles, I think the defense is going to come out a lot stronger.
Dimitri Gorin, a lot of play is going to be made, clearly, of Michael Jackson's mental and physical health at the time that this happened. There was this very disturbing audio played today, which was pretty shocking to everybody, seeming to suggest that, you know, 2 months before, Michael Jackson was in a pretty zombified state when that recording was made, suggesting a big problem with these kind of drugs. There was also Kenny Ortega, Michael's longtime collaborative partner, who testified today that he warned people before Michael Jackson died that he was concerned about his health, and Conrad Murray said no, he's fine, he's in good mental and physical condition. How significant is this debate over his health before he died, do you think, going to be?
I think it's very significant. I think the prosecutor's position is going to be that Dr. Murray was unnoticed here. Dr. Murray knew he had a patient whose health was compromised, a patient who appeared to be addicted, that people close to the patient were telling Dr. Murray, look, you got to do something. And what did Dr. Murray do? Dr. Murray continued to administer propofol, texted his girlfriends, and then hid the fact that propofol was used by him from the responders, the 911 call responders. So I think Michael Jackson's prior health condition was very important. I think it makes it more difficult for Dr. Murray to defend himself, because to everyone around Michael Jackson, it was obvious Michael Jackson was in distress and needed some serious help. You don't end up weighing 110 pounds at your death unless you're in hospice care. And unfortunately, in this case, Dr. Murray failed to provide sufficient care, was grossly negligent, and therefore the government has decided to prosecute him for being guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Mike Barnes, let me bring you in on that. I mean, do you agree with that? You're a drug policy advisor, you're an attorney. It is a complex one. I mean, the defense are clearly going to say, look, Michael Jackson was addicted to these drugs, painkillers and stuff to help him sleep, and had been taking them a long time, and our client was trying to wean him off these. Is that a credible position for them to take, do you think?
It's not. I don't think that the prosecution should necessarily try to fight the notion that Michael Jackson was addicted. I don't know that the facts necessarily support it in this particular case, but it can be helpful because it creates a greater standard of care, greater caution required on the part of Conrad Murray in treating Michael Jackson. And so that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's really, I think the tough part here is not to create a situation as the defense attorney where you're turning off the jurors, both in terms of your case and also in terms of the drug abuse issue, and trying to make Michael Jackson, the victim, to be the evildoer here. Really, Conrad Murray should not have been prescribing powerful controlled substances to one who had an addiction, and we see actually, instead of weaning him off, he was increasing the dosages of propofol as he was creating greater and greater orders to this Nevada pharmacy.
Let me bring in Mark Geragos on this. I mean, this is going to be key, isn't it, to the whole case you sense. I've got an extraordinary interview with some of Conrad Murray's previous patients coming up after this break, in which, you know, they portray him as almost a saintly figure, not motivated by money, very caring. I was quite taken aback by the strength of their feeling towards him. Is it fair to just label him as somebody who has been negligent and simply just allowed Michael Jackson to take far too many drugs and die?
Well, I don't think it's fair, and I think it's part of the conundrum that the prosecution has in this case. It's never easy to convict a doctor. Unlike journalists or lawyers, doctors are usually well thought of. So you, first of all, have got a doctor who was not out there, at least presumably, trying to harm Michael Jackson. I don't think that the defense took the position at all that demonizing him, at least through the front door. There's kind of a roundabout way in terms of the argument that was made or the statements that were made today. But remember, this there's always a lot of trouble whenever you ask jurors to convict a doctor when he's doing something that's supposedly in the course and scope of his doctorly duties, if you will. And that's exactly what you have here. I mean, remember, Elvis's doctor walked when he was prosecuted. That was kind of the tack that that was taken with that case. I think that your previous guest analyzed it, that the kind of the reversal in this case is the key point. You've got, the celebrity is not the defendant here. The celebrity is the person who died. And the defense wanted intelligent jurors, and they got some intelligent jurors. It's a circumstantial evidence case, and you want people who are a little bit smarter, who are not going to be taken away by their emotion, and who are going to analyze this case. And when they analyze it, they're going to come down to, did Dr. Murray cause the death? Is there a reasonable doubt as to that or not?
Gentlemen, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Today, the defense told the jury they'll hear from some of the doctor's patients, and I will talk to several of those after this break.